I wanted to hop on real quick because I did a video earlier in the week really talking about the intensity of emotion, challenges, limiting beliefs, just life in general that happens. Kind of feels like you're in a pressure cooker right before the shift happens. And I wanted to kind of hone in on a key piece here because I really feel like the energy of this is super strong this week and really like through the end of the year. And that is this idea of allowing yourself to be in the in between, allowing yourself to be in the void, changing your relationship with what it means to be stuck, with what it means to be in a rut. And I hinted at this again. I'll link the video if you want to kind of hear a little bit more of a deeper dive. I can link the video below, but really this is kind of the crux of the video and the crux of what I want you to get out of it. And I think it's so worth, again, doing something shorter just so you can start to practice this for yourself, because this is really where the magic happens. This is really where the really juicy work is going to be for you right now during the season, again, through the end of the year. And often, as a society, especially in, Western society, we are so conditioned to find our worth through being productive. And that's just a fact, right? How much more can we do? What more can we do? If we are resting, we can feel really guilty for doing that, right? If we're not moving forward, if we're not finding the success we want, if we're not, if things just aren't happening the way that we think we should, we instantly go to what's wrong with us? How can I fix it? And we keep trying to like plow forward. And we all know that this just doesn't work on so many levels. And now, as you are really being invited to just sit and be with whatever is coming up for you, because that is really what needs to be released. That is like the resistance and the heaviness and just the junk that you have been holding on to for, who knows how long. You can answer that question for yourself. And really, again, this moment is inviting you to pause. And that, especially if you're feeling stuck, especially if you're feeling in a rut right now, or feeling like things just aren't progressing, or maybe you feel like you're even backtracking. You're like, what in the heck is going on? I feel super scattered. I just can't seem to make decisions or like figure out what direction I want to go. And trust and know that it really is by design for your highest good. Okay? Because instead of, what we typically like to do is we feel stuck and then we like go to the head and we're like, what do I need to fix? Where can I problem solve? What's not working? What's the strategy? Who can I have to help? Maybe I need to bounce ideas off someone, right? Like we go straight to the mind and we start trying to get to work. And it's human nature, right? We don't need to judge ourselves or beat ourselves up over that, right? Like it's not an inherently bad thing. But what if this moment invited you to try something different, to try something new? And again, don't just like take my word for it. This is for you to get really curious about and for you to lean into. And maybe there's something in you saying, you know what? The way that I've done it in the past has not worked. It has not gotten me what I want, has not gotten me where I want to go, right? Whatever it may be. This is something that maybe I can get curious about and maybe I can try for myself. And in doing so, you start to give yourself the space and time to simply be present and just sit with whatever wants to be revealed in this moment, right? Or in whatever moment you sit with it. Because often when we're stuck, it's actually that we are resisting doing the very thing that like our soul is kind of pulling us or pointing us or guiding us to. So this resistance could be, anything from having a hard conversation to, knowing that, I don't know, maybe you're an author and you're writing a book and you keep thinking you need to write a book about X, but like it's just not coming out. The words aren't forming. But deep down, you want to write a book about something completely different. And maybe it's completely outside of your genre. And maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not an author, but you can kind of go along with that with me, whether you're writing a book or not. But it's again just this idea that we are resisting the very thing that is meant to be felt at this time. And we are stuck. We are in a rut because we are not allowing ourselves to feel that. We are not allowing ourselves to move the energy through our bodies in a way that will best serve us in this moment. Okay, so again, however you may be stuck, I want you to drop out of the head and drop into the body. And you might not be able to get there right away. You might not like instantly have the floodgates open. You might not instantly know whatever it is that you've been holding on to. And it's a practice and it may take some time, but I want you to just drop in the body. And you can pause this video, you can come back to it, you can take notes, whatever feels good to you. But I typically just like to take a couple of deep breaths, kind of grounding myself into this present moment and just noticing where in my body do I feel contracted? Do I feel something like something trying to get my attention almost, if that makes sense? Like there's something that feels louder than another part of my body. And I love doing this practice because I find it to be very powerful and very easy to kind of get to the root of whatever it is you're trying to work through. And so once you can kind of connect with that own part of yourself, ask, right? Your body has so much wisdom. Ask, what needs to be revealed? What am I resisting, right? If you can't get there yet, start even smaller, right? Noticing, what am I feeling right now? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling frustrated? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling resentful? Am I feeling lonely, right? Like whatever emotions are coming up for you within you, and just allowing that to be there, right? Without judgment, just noticing it, just being a witness to that. And as you do that with complete presence, without judging, without trying to change, without trying to, the more you do that, the more will start to pour up and through and out of you in exactly the way that you need to release the energy that is stuck. And when you release the energy that is stuck, you no longer will feel stuck. That's all it is. So, what are you resisting in this moment? And I kind of laughed about this morning when I was kind of thinking about, wanting to jump on and do this video. And one thing that I had been resisting, and it's so silly, but it can be silly little things like this, is like I was just resisting putting my dishes away. I hate unloading the dishwasher. I know it's so silly, but I just really don't like doing it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It was like the second I just did it, like I was inspired to be more creative. I wasn't walking around just carrying the load of the things that I didn't want to do, right? So that's another beautiful practice during this time, is like sitting with the resistance, sitting with whatever wants to come up, and then trying to just do the next thing. And I know, like, I'm not saying maybe what you're resisting is having a very, serious conversation with a family member or something like that. That might not be something that you can just like up and do. But I promise if you sit with whatever is coming up around that, it makes it feel lighter. It changes the energy around whatever you're resisting. And then maybe you can just say, oh, you know what? I really, maybe you want to look for a new job and you're like, oh, I hate looking for a new job, but I'm also in this soul sucking job. But once you just sit and say, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, I'm going to look for a new job, you're like, oh, I was resisting it. And it was getting so heavy because I was like dreading it for so long. And through dreading it, it was just like making it that much worse. But the second I just said, you know what, I'm going to give myself 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, oh, this isn't even that bad. And now it's been an hour and you've been looking for jobs and you even found a couple that you applied for, right? So it's really just doing the thing. And sometimes there needs to be some fire there. And sometimes there needs to be like that energy of, you know what, I'm going to just allow myself to just be in the thick of it and then just take action from there, no matter how small it is. And yes, even the action of sitting with the very thoughts, the very feelings, the very emotions, the very sensations that you are resisting in the first place is the key to start to break up all of that junk anyway. And the second that starts to break up, it frees you. It makes everything else feel so much lighter. And when you feel lighter, then you feel like you can move. Then you feel motivated. Then you feel inspired. Then you feel alive. And then you feel excited, right? All of the things. All right. So take a few moments and just sit with what is weighing on you. What feels heavy? What am I not doing? What am I resisting, right? What do I know I need to do, but I'm not doing it, right? And be brutally honest with yourself. That is part of this energy. That is part of the energy of being in presence and honoring all of this. It's not sugarcoating anything. It's being courageous enough to see and to allow what wants to come up right now and trusting that no matter how hard it is there to serve you. It is here for a reason, and it is here now for a reason, because next year holds so much powerful transformation, and it's requiring and demanding and asking you to do the work now so that you can come into alignment with what really is true for you and for your path forward from this very moment. Okay, so I hope that is helpful. I hope you take some time to just sit, to reflect on this, to journal with this, to chat with a friend, right? Again, just giving yourself a few minutes to let things kind of go, you will be amazed at like how things within you start to get jostled, and then you're like, oh, and then this is coming up and I didn't even know that was there, right? But it starts to feel better and it starts to feel lighter. And then maybe you can get outside and go for a walk or have a little dance party in your house and just move that energy and let it feel really good and get it unstuck, and you will feel freer and more at peace and more alive and connected.